Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, depending on what part of the world you're tuning in from. But I know we have a lot of people from the West Indies on this live today. So thank you guys for tuning in. My name is Michael Mattis. I am the owner of New York Stellar Promotions, which is an entertainment company right here in New York City. So today, we're going to be speaking with my new business partner, Saqlain Wildman from LAX Society, and his director, newly appointed director of the company, Denmark. So I'm going to give you guys a little bit of intro about myself and how I got started. And then I'm going to bring my brother, Mr. Wildman, onto the stream. So started Stellar Promos 3 years ago, right? I have a passion for music. I like to start businesses around things that I love. Music is one of them. So 3 years ago, I have friends, before I even got into the industry, I have friends who are artists, and I would always go to their shows to support them. And after one show, I was talking with this artist, and he was telling me about, his project and what he was working on. And at the end of the conversation, I realized he didn't really understand, what he wanted to do with his music. He didn't have like the proper steps in place, and he didn't understand branding. He didn't understand social media. He didn't understand online marketing. So that night I went home thinking about, what would be these independent artists without them having to spend an arm and a leg. So I figured since I was pretty good with social media, I just started with that. Created an Instagram page, created a Facebook page, and just started curating different music that I found online and in my city. Just started posting it for free. 5-6 months later, I was able to grow that page to over 10,000 followers. So I started seeing that there was a real demand for artists to get their music promoted. So I just created a website, created a whole brand around it, and I started creating different services that I know artists wanted and needed. And fast forward to today, I'm currently working with 2 artists here in New York. One is in New Jersey. And I have a business partner who's in California. She does the PR side of things. So for artists who needs when they're ready and they need that heavy promotion, for the radio and the street promotion, her name is Jules. She does that part of it. So down the road, some of you guys will get to see her and meet with her. But so that's where we are right now. And one of my goals is to always provide the necessary blueprint, if you will, and help independent artists bridge that gap between the mainstream industry and the independent artists, because there's like a big gap. And that's why, like, my company, we only focus on helping and working with independent artists, because they're the ones that need the most help. So one of my mission is to, help artists go full-time in their career, make music a full-time thing, leave their 9-to-5, become real business owners and start building their brand and monetizing their brand so they could become that full-time CEO. Because most of them don't know it, but no matter what stage you're at, you're self-employed, you're a business owner, you're an entrepreneur, and it's important for them to start thinking of that. So that's who I cater to. That's who I want to help. And a few ago, when I was, I got a DM from LAX Society. I wasn't expecting it, but we connected sometime last year, and we, sent a few messages, but nothing really came of it. We were just talking and conversation. And a few months ago, Saqlain hit me up, and he was like, "How'd you like, to work with some athletes and promote them?" I was like, "Okay. I mean, I love sports. I'm into sports. Tell me more about it." And little did I know, like, he had like a whole different different department in his company. Athletes was just one of them. I only focus on music. So when he told me, he has a department that focuses on artists, I'm like, okay, we could definitely talk about something. We could definitely work together and do something with this. And we got on the phone, we got on the video chat and just spoke more about it. And it made sense when we spoke, and he told me about, the company and his mission and what he wanted to do with it. I was like, okay, it became clear of how I could contribute, how I could help, and how we could partner up and work. So hence why I won this partnership a few weeks ago. And now, I'm basically, if you guys don't know, we're basically the marketing arm for the music department for L.A.X Society. So any artists that they sign and bring on, they're going to be working with us, to help push them and their music. So let me bring on Mr. Wildman real quick. You won't. He's a little busy, but he's going to speak and introduce himself and talk for a couple minutes. All right. Okay.
Hi, hello.
Mr. Wildman.
Thanks for having me, Mark. Well, I won't be here for long because I'm currently at a meeting, but what I can say is thank you very much, Mike, for this partnership. And I have a well-represented director here who will go more in depth in our partnership and what we'll offer our artists, both in Jamaica and also opportunity to be promoted in New York and across America. So without further ado, I'll get back to my meeting, but Danmar will definitely be here and he shed much, much more light on what we have together. Thanks, Mike, for having me.
No problem. Let's get him on the live. All right, so Danmar, how we doing?
Hey, what's going on, man? It's a pleasure to be here in this meeting this afternoon, representing L.A.X. I must say it's indeed a pleasure. And the goals that we have to achieve on our vision as a partnership, trust me, I can only see L.A.X. and of course Stella being the #1 company representing athletes and of course musicians, not only in Jamaica but regionally and of course internationally. So without further ado, let's get right into the discussion. I mean, the environment of dancehall and rap, they're so intertwined, they're so linked. You understand me? One could actually argue that dancehall gave birth to rap. You understand me? So without further ado, let's get into the discussion. Let's get it.
All right, guys. So we have a few frequently asked questions that we're gonna present. I'm gonna go first. I have a couple that I want to put on the table, and then Danmar is gonna finish it off. So my first question is, just describe the current state of dancehall music.
All right. So the current state of dancehall, for me, commendations must be given to the giants in dancehall. For example, one like Vybz Kartel, he has given a platform to a lot of young artists. Popcorn is one such artist. You understand me? I must say that we have made a lot of strides in terms of getting females involved. Jada Kingdom, Shensia, those are some names that are doing well right now. However, we find that the growth of dancehall in many respects is a bit stagnant. I mean, we still have the tribalistic attitude towards the music where everybody is just in their own camp. You understand me? Some
Which is,
people say unruly.
yeah, I can't
Some
believe
say,
they're still like that, but yeah.
yeah, it's still like that, man. And I mean, dancehall has not grown to the extent that we want it from 2010. You understand me? Still tribalistic. Lack of professionalism in many respects. You understand me? Still have artists falling out with them DJs. Still have fall out with them managers. So it could have been better. But shout out to the young artists, them, you understand me? Big up to Revox, big up to Cash D, big up to Skilly Bang, young artists that are doing it right now. Yeah.
Okay. So next question is so we know like right now worldwide there's a pandemic going on, and a lot of industries has been affected, um, from business to farming to agriculture, transportation, all of it. I know music is one of them, and I know here in New York, there hasn't been much going on. There hasn't been anything going on. Right now we're in phase 4, so most businesses have opened up. Gyms just opened up. Restaurants are open, but event spaces are not open, and some clubs are not open. And don't know what that would be, but right now most artists are not able to perform and do what they normally would in terms of live shows. So how is the industry been affected there, and how has it affected the independent artists in Jamaica?
Well, I mean, right now, COVID has significantly impacted dancehall. You understand me? A lot of artists right now, they can't do shows. And I must admit that shows is their main source of income. You understand me? What I recognize a lot of young artists are doing now, they're actually doing dubs. So in Jamaica right now, it's coming on very close to the general election. So many young artists ensure that they get a dub done by either the PNP or the JLP. You understand? But for the most part, everybody have to just kick it in. Big up to all those artists, would have had alternative sources of income. You understand me? If you have a house or rent or anything like that. But it has been definitely rough in Jamaica right now. You understand me? The closest thing to a show that we had was when Reggae Sumfest did a live. You understand me?
Yeah,
And
I
the
saw
various
that.
artists. Yeah, that was good. But it has been very, very rough in Jamaica. Very, very rough since the COVID and music industry.
So are things still closed, like venues and stuff, or
Most
are they?
all right. At this point in time, I must admit it's a little bit tricky because about a few weeks ago, the government gave us a bit of leeway where we were actually transitioning into a period where we could arguably say we could probably keep some shows, of course, observing social distancing guidelines. However, due to the upsurge in cases, that was quickly set aside. You understand me? Couldn't be done. You understand me? So we're back at stage 1 again. Everything closed. The money
Wow.
now make it rough. Very rough for the young youths them coming up in dancehall right now.
And have the government outlined any plan on like when they're gonna start reopening, like in the future?
Well, very good question. You understand me? The thing is, I mean, COVID is very dynamic, so there is no one set plan. You understand me? I mean, at one point, I remember that Dream Weekend, they were planning to basically have a setup where you have booth, like you have booth, and like a play field, for example, and like at least 3 persons to a booth. However, I don't know how that will work out at this point in time because COVID increased. I mean, Usain Bolt got it the other day. So
He did?
yeah, we got COVID. So it left a very sour taste in everybody's mouth in terms of keeping events. You understand me? I think right now if I probably look at permit, that's the last thing. Last thing probably the police or relevant authorities want to see in Jamaica at this point.
Wow, I didn't hear about that. So has any big name artists or celebs besides Boat have gotten COVID?
At this point, I would have to say no. not in the music industry. I must say that so far the artists are keeping themselves safe, which is very commendable. However, I think sometimes they get a bit carried away because they probably be doing their lives. They have persons in the background, intermingling with each other and so on. So, but for the
Mm.
most part, they're keeping safe. But I would really appreciate if there could be more ambassadors in terms of getting persons to stay inside. But so far, so good. I hope we keep it that way. Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Hope there's no spikes and the numbers stay level or go down.
Well, that's our hope. But at the end of the day, we have a social responsibility as citizens. We don't want COVID mash up the thing. And I mean, I've been inside for many months now, and I mean, I won't lie. I really like to go to a party right about now, but we have to just hold it. Hold it.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so my next question is like, what is the for the up and coming artists, what is the biggest hurdle right now for them?
Oh, that's a multifaceted question. For upcoming artists right now in dancehall, the biggest problem for them,
Mm.
organization and professionalism. So I'm going to pick apart professionalism first. So a lot of our dancehall artists, admittedly, many persons are from either the ghetto. Nothing wrong with that. Humble beginnings is good, but many of them are from, of course, ghettos. So whenever they make it to the dancehall industry, there's not a lot of guidance at times as to how to conduct themselves and how to maintain corporate relationships. So you find that they allow ego to be the reason why they don't make it too far. You understand me? And you allow that ego to allow them to get into confrontations with the law. You understand
All
me? So
right.
they need to have that level of training. You understand me? We need to create a real music industry or have that corporate feel to it. You understand me? So
Yeah.
that's the first issue.
Okay.
The second issue, of course, as I said before, organization. You understand me? Right now in Jamaica, we can guarantee you have probably close to 1,000 artists who want bus in Jamaica, but you don't have any real organization as to how you're gonna go about it. You understand me? They need to have that level of management and guidance. Remember, gone are the days in dancehall, you used to burn like 50 CD and out 50 CD to 50 people. It's all about social media right now. It's all about
Yeah.
YouTube. You understand me? So we need to have that level of technological advancement and that level of technological understanding of where the music's at. You understand? We need to have managers who can liaise with marketing companies to ensure that these individuals are out there. You understand me? You have
Mm.
artists where they even know how to push a song. They only know some voice a song and put it on YouTube. I want to check it out. The song goodly only amass 1,000, a mere 1,000 views, if not less. Which in, if they had the right type of management and organization, them could have get a nice 20K views and keep pushing them things to break barriers. You understand me? We need to have our artists getting that link with New York. I know your company have that link. We need to have that. And I think a lot of our artists in Jamaica, they're stagnant. You understand me? So we need to move the music. We need to grow the music. And so therefore, lack of organization, lack of professionalism, main reason, main hurdle right now for dancehall. Yeah.
So do you think the artists who lack that professionalism, do you think most of them are open to get coaching and to get so they can improve, their speaking ability and their people skills?
Well, that's a very tricky question in all honesty, because at the end of the day, you're still gonna have that set of persons who are gonna be like, now I'm gonna do this my way. But the reality is this: it's where you see yourself in dancehall. You understand me? If you want to see yourself on an international stage like the likes of Popcorn, likes of Shaggy, you understand me? The likes of Charlie Blacks, you have to fix up the thing. You understand me? You have to be able to listen and appreciate the fact that you have to have this particular look. You have to have this type of negotiation skill or negotiation skills to make it where you want to be. A lot of dancehall artists, if not everybody want to go on tour of Europe. Everybody want to go to New York. But at the end of the day, if you can't create that link, if you cannot speak, if you can't show people that you're work ready, you're international ready, it makes no sense. And I think that's what's defeating us right now. We need more people. We need more artists to be work ready, to be internationally minded or international minded, if I want to say it that way. Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of artists, no matter what country they're in, they don't have a long-term vision. They want instant gratification, and they want it real right now. Like they think so short term that they never could predict, any hurdles coming their way. So they end up getting, sidetracked and their career going left. And you can usually set them back, a couple months to a couple years.
It's true.
So,
it's true. Because when I was the Faculty of Law president at UTech, we had the responsibility of booking an artist from the 6th camp, right? And when we're booking the artist from the 6th camp, we gave him a contract. I was a member of the team. I was a member of the team that drafted the contract. And when we gave him the contract, he said, listen, just wire the 100,000 to me. Just send the money to me, same time. And we had to explain to him that, no, that's not how it works. We're not just drop money in your account like that. We have to respect certain procedures. Contracts have to be signed. You understand me? It doesn't work like that. And we recognize that that kind of rubbed him the wrong way. But that's the reality. Many of the artists just think it's about grabbing a quick bag, making the money and cut. No, there's a lot more to it. And I think that's where we need companies like LAX Society and Stella to bring that transformational atmosphere to both rap in New York and, of course, dancehall in Jamaica.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely agree. This leads into the next question. You kind of touched on it before, but do you think most artists spend time on branding? And if not, why don't they?
Do they spend time on branding? Some artists do. Wow. Alkaline, first and foremost, big up Alkaline, big up Erland. I believe that young man spends a lot of time on fixing and pushing his brand. You understand me? Because it's so easy in dancehall to move or to get lost into what you really represent. You understand me? And at times you brand yourself, but you brand yourself the wrong way. Because, for example, when we had Tommy Lee coming out in 2011, Tommy Lee pushed the Demon brand, but to recognize that corporate Jamaica, we were not accepting the Demon thing. So you had to rebrand and come again. So you recognize that not knowing the repercussions of certain branding, it can be detrimental to any artist's career. You understand me? It's always important to maintain the street brand and the corporate brand. So while I probably have the badness on the song,
coexist? Do you think that could mesh well?
I think it can work. I think it can work, but you have to know how to separate reality from fiction. You understand me? Because even if you come out like probably say you come out like a 6ix9ine then, for example, and I sing gun song in rap, right? In all honesty, it can be a case where you're not doing any crime at all. You just sing about it. Because in Jamaica, can't tell you this. Our culture, you have to have a gun song. You understand? But that doesn't necessarily mean that you're a gunman. You get me, I say?
You have to.
You have to know how to separate the reality from the fiction. And once you can do that, trust me, your branding is on the way. And again, it brings me back to Alkaline. You understand me? So far, he hasn't been charged for any form of criminal activity or anything like that. So him sing the gun song and him have the image. You understand me? So him have the gunman image and him have the corporate image. And I think if they can strike that balance, they'll be getting more business from corporate Jamaica to do sponsorships and of course promotion.
Okay. So is he like the only one that has been able to, make that work well?
So currently in dancehall, I must admit, the two most successful persons in maintaining the duality in the branding would have to be popcorn and of course alkaline. From where I sit as a critic of our music
Okay.
industry. I must admit, you have upcoming artists that we don't want to feel as if we're not giving them any respect. But at the end of the day, it takes time to get to that level where you can be identified because
Hmm.
the upcoming artists they lean more to the violent aspect of the branding. Some of them before they get over to the corporate aspect of things. So I need to show respect to TJ as well. He's from Ramesh Entertainment. Big up TJ. Show respect to him. He's been able through the help of his manager to maintain that duality. But you have other artists that not so much. Not so much.
Okay. So my last question is, what do you think is the biggest need right now for artists down there?
Biggest need for artists right now in Jamaica.
Yeah. I
Funding.
think, okay.
Funding from
And,
where I sit. Go ahead.
and yeah, and when you say that, I know like unemployment is a big problem down there, and I don't know the current unemployment rate, but I know it's pretty bad, and a lot of the youth can't find jobs that easily, and I think most of the jobs are in hospitality, right, and
Yeah,
transportation.
yeah.
Yeah, so a lot of them are probably in single parent households, so they usually end up, turning to music, turning to the streets, and going that route. So I could definitely see why a lot of them don't have the funding to put into their project and the music and get their whole branding and packaging together. So, and I think this is where your company will definitely come into play and help them, in that aspect. But yeah, did you want to touch on any of that?
Yeah, most definitely. On the point of funding, that Jamaica has a wealth of talent, especially in music. But as I said before, many of them can't afford to market themselves. Many of them
Mhm.
can't afford to affiliate with the powerful players in the music industry. And downright, many of them just lack the proper networking skills as well. So it's quite easy for them not to really make it to the top. It's only the select, smart few that really can make it there. And again, dancehall is very divided, you understand me? So it's not like you're gonna readily get that mentorship from the
Mhm.
dinosaurs or the, the columns in dancehall. So that's a major issue.
Yeah, I heard in one interview, I forgot who it was. He was saying basically the OGs and dancehall don't really want to work with the young youth or help them, come up, and that's what's, I guess, causing that drift and that division. And they tend to the younger artists tend to lash out against them because they feel that they washed up and they don't got nothing else to offer to the industry. So
Yeah, that's very true. And that's where Lux and Stella comes in to fix these problems. Because at the end of the day, as a agency or as agencies, we have to be the ones to create that link, to create that partnership with corporate Jamaica. You understand me? I must show a lot of respect to what Mr. Wildman has done thus far in forming partnerships outside of the music industry with even universities, companies in Israel, companies in the United States. So making that link, having an agency that is very professional, that's able to represent you, you understand me, on the grand stage, that is key. And I think that is one thing that we want Stella and Lax to do going forward. Identify the talent, guide the talent, build the link, and let us be prosperous. And let's make some money. Yeah, it's there to be made.
oh yeah, it's definitely a lot to be made. All right. Well, that's all my questions I have for you, brother. And you could jump into anything that you wanted to ask me.
No problem. No problem, man. The first big question I want to ask Stella, and for our audience watching, I want to know how can Stella help to provide shows in New York and of course a new audience in New York for upcoming talents? That's the first question.
Okay, so one, I just want people to know that our company, we do advertising and PR. So we don't specialize or do event booking or booking artists for shows. Now we do know of shows that are happening every week, every month. So that wouldn't be a problem to, send that to an artist and let them know ahead of time, hey, this is coming up next month and you should register for it. So just want to make that and let that be known. So, and right now, most in a normal situation, there's free shows and paid shows. Hold on a second.
Hey, Mike, you hearing me?
Oh, sorry, I was muted.
Okay, go ahead.
So this is how most of them operate. So they'll tell the artist they have to sell this amount of tickets, to perform and put on the lineup. So if you sell like 5 tickets, or they'll let you keep that money and perform a certain amount for a certain amount of time. So
right.
So let's say the tickets is $15. If you want to perform like 4 or 5 songs, you would have to sell at least 30 tickets, just for example. So the more you sell, the more songs you can perform, and the longer you can perform. Those are for the showcases that require you to pay. The free showcases, those are common. Those don't require you anything except just promote it to your friends and show up on time and perform. And there's plenty of those that happen on a monthly basis. Pre-COVID, that's how things usually function. And I know quite a few venues over here in New York that artists could sign up for, whether it's for singers or rappers, reggae artists. They accept usually all genres, and they would just have to sign up ahead of time and to be able to perform for that show.
Okay, interesting. Well, what's one more important question that I think we definitely need to learn or need to know? How is dancehall doing, or how is dancehall viewed in the American market? That's a very important thing.
All right. Believe it or not, it's more popular than it's ever been, to be honest, because here dancehall is widespread across the US, like especially in the cities and states that have a large Caribbean population. You'll hear dancehall music on the radio on a daily or weekly basis. Especially, I was telling you this the other day, like we have radio stations here that are Jamaican programs that play Jamaican music, and they also talk about current events that's happening in New York and Jamaica. So most people may not know that, but if you have a song that's hot and in Jamaica, more than likely it's gonna work its way up to New York, because there's DJs here in New York that's traveling back and forth to Jamaica, and they're playing like Noah Poa, he's one of them. DJ Roy, Dubmaster Chris, he's they're on this program called 93.5 FM, and which is strictly dedicated to Jamaican current events and Jamaican music. So it's definitely popular. And I would say this too. A couple months ago, remember when they had the versus Beanie versus Bounty?
Yeah.
That was the most viewed versus that they ever had up until the DMX one. And I was surprised. Like, I seen, like, because they showed the live stream at the bottom. Like, I was seeing names of artists that were watching and commenting that I never knew they were big fans of this song from Bounty or that from Beanie. And it had 478,000 viewers on that live stream. So that just lets you know how big dancehall is and how much people listen to it.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Oh. Because it just brings me into my final question. What are the prospects of Jamaican artists networking and getting links, very important links in New York? What are the prospects right now?
Well, let's say we didn't have a pandemic. It's very possible, because especially if you have, let's just say you have your paperwork and your passport together and you're able to travel back and forth. Let's just say you already have that issue out of the way. There's, like I said, there's a large Caribbean Jamaican population here in New York, especially Brooklyn. And there's a lot of artists here in Brooklyn that make hip hop, trap music that have a Jamaican background. And they'll definitely be open to, making music with artists for artists who's in Jamaica, who has a buzz and making things happen and on the come up. So it's definitely possible, and there's nothing that would stop that link from happening besides, the artist being professional, like you said, and just being committed and ready to work. I hope that answered your question.
Yeah, it did, man. It did. And that should wrap up our discussion for today. It's not the end of our discussion. We have a wonderful partnership. We're looking forward to work with Stella to make millions of dollars. You understand me?
And I also wanted to let people know, or let the artists know who are watching and maybe watching down the road, what exactly they'll be getting with this with our services. So Mr. Wildman, if you could put up those lists of services for me so they could see. All right, cool. So when we onboard an artist, we'll take them through an application process, and if they're a right fit, we'll take them through, basically a coaching session and getting to know them, to understand more about their music and their vision and what they want. So let's say we start working together. As of right now, for you guys, we have 3 packages that we offer, and all of these things that you see listed comes in those 3 packages. So, for example, a big part of it is branding. We were speaking about that earlier. Most artists struggle with branding, so we're gonna emphasize that at the beginning. And I want you guys to know about it. If you're artists watching this right now, like branding is a big part of you making that link, like Damar was just saying, and you getting your music on radio and being able to be booked for some of these shows that we have. All right. So if your brand is not together and you don't have a vision for what you want to do, we can't take that next step. So you got to have that in place. And what branding is, branding includes, your website, your logo, your music links on your website, having an EPK, which stands for electronic press kit. Most artists surprisingly don't have one of those. So that's all important. And also, L.A.X is going to definitely contribute to this. Being able to conduct yourself in an interview, that's very important. Being able to express yourself verbally is going to sometimes could be the difference between you getting booked for another interview on another radio show and potentially a stage show. So just know branding is vital. So music marketing, what does that include? That's basically us pushing your music on the internet. So that what we do at NYSP, a large percentage of our promotion is based around advertisements, online advertisements, social media advertising to be specific. So everything from Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Snap, all of that. That's how we primarily promote an artist when they have a new music video or a new song, cover art, or even if they have an interview they just did on a radio show. That's how we primarily promote it. All right. So we're going to help you with that. And all of these services they're going to be in individual packages. And it's a monthly price that you're going to pay to maintain these services. Okay. Just to let you know. All right. So public relations, like I said, my business partner here in New York, in California handles that. And public relations basically entails when you're ready, that won't come into play until you have like an album and you want to go on a press run, right? And let me just tell you, like, doing PR is costly. And you got to have at least $1,200 and above to do PR, $1,200 US to do PR. Okay. So most artists who have a tight budget, they probably won't want to do PR right away. Studio sessions, I know that's something L.A.X is going to be contributing to. And we already have a couple studios already set up for artists to come in and, lay their vocals and work on their music. Talent management, that's L.A.X specialty. They're going to be there guiding you through the process. So you shouldn't, every artist needs a team with them. Okay. Like no artist could blow up on their own, unless they just happen to get lucky, like Gully Bop, but most artists who are in it for the long run, they need a team around them to help them get to that next level. And that's why we formed this partnership to help the up and comers artists with that. Okay. So booking agents, that's a specialty that L.A.X caters in. And so if an artist who's ready to perform and go start doing shows when things get back to normal, you could be certain we're going to be helping you line up some shows so you can start performing. Tour arrangements, that goes hand in hand with the bookings. And the travel concierge, that's something that we specialize in over here at L.A.X. At Stellar. So basically how this would works is we have a partnership with a travel agency, and we're able to get artists. Let me mute you because there's some background noise. So our company has a partnership with another travel agency, and we're able to get artists flights, hotels, cruises, anything in the travel space that an artist would need to travel back and forth. We offer that. Majority of it is at a discounted rate, and you could be secure in the fact that, you know, when you're ready to travel and come overseas, you know, we can help you cover that part of it too and take care of that for you. So you wouldn't have to, you know, worry about planning all that out. Just make sure, you know, you have your funds together and your passport ready. So that's pretty much what's going to be included in one of these packages. So we don't have to discuss prices right now, but you could definitely find that on the website for L.A.X. And that's about it. All right, you're unmuted. So, Demo, you wanted to add anything?
Yeah, I just saw a question that Mr. Wildman posted a while ago. He said, the question coming from one of our viewers. The person said, and I quote, "If I sign to L.A.X and Stella, how will that guarantee me success in music, and what are you guys doing?" That's a very good question. I mean, what Mike just presented on a while ago would have touched and concerned quite a number of things that we would actually do for you. In terms of guarantee,
let me just say, we can't guarantee you anything. That's going to be based on you. Go ahead.
I was going to say the same thing. We can provide you with the tools. We can provide you with the tools. But I see the work ethic, the dedication that will come from you, the person. All right. So it's for you to say, all right, then I'll be working with my managers. I'll be listening to my managers. When Mr. Clark give me any legal advice or give me any guidance, I will listen. So in terms of what we provide, we just outlined it, but just to reiterate it for L.A.X, definitely we can ensure that you get your studio time, you get your graphics done, you network with powerful persons in the music industry, because I mean, we want to bring this thing to the top. We want to form partnerships with the Minister of Culture, Entertainment, and Youth, of course, because I believe that if you want to bring this thing on an international stage, it's always best to liaise with the different regulators in Jamaica. So far we have all the tools, you understand me? Marketing is there. So right now we're scouting for different talents, and we'll be working with them 100%, because at the end of the day, millions of dollars are there to be made. And there's another question: does the partnership help out local upcoming artists with getting their visa? Most definitely. That's a key part of it, because as I said before, L.A.X and Stella definitely want to form a partnership where we can bridge the audience in New York and in Jamaica. For sure, definitely. When I speak to Mr. Wildman, he is the one with all that level of connection, because it's as easy as ensuring that you get a letter from a promoter to say, listen, we're doing a show on the weekend, we need this artist to be there, and it can be sorted out. I've seen artists in the music industry who would have committed even offenses, who are receiving their visas. So why not you? Why not your upcoming and budding artist? It can be done, and it will be done. You understand me? So with the visa question, most definitely. Next question. Next question. What if I have songs but they're not streaming or published? Will you guys work with me? Is that coming from you, Mike?
No, I didn't write that. I think that came from Facebook. So
okay, go ahead and answer that one.
All right. So if the song is not streaming, that means it's not uploaded onto one of the streaming platforms, which means it's probably not mixed and mastered. So in order for your song to be streaming, first and foremost, know that your song has to be finished. So if it's not finished, then you can't upload it to a platform like SoundCloud or Deezer or Spotify. And that's first and foremost. So make sure before you upload any song that it's edited, it's clean. You want to have an edited version too for radio, just in case it gets picked up. But make sure it's edited, it's mixed and mastered, and then upload it onto one of these streaming services. Okay.
Yeah, and just to mention, Mike, we'll be providing that level of guidance to our artists regarding the streaming platforms, because trust me, a lot of persons just think you just upload something and leave it. There's a lot more to it. There's a lot of marketing and promotion that needs to be done. If you guys go on YouTube, sometimes you'll see an advertisement pop up, and then you'll see like a song by a popular artist being playing as an advertisement. Some people call it buying views, but it's not buying views. It's just simple marketing. You understand? Simply just marketing a product. So that's one of the things we want to guarantee all of our artists. If I now get 2 million on YouTube, it don't make sense, and that's where I want to bring our artists right now. Next question. But what if I don't have the 1200 USD, but I have good songs and a good audience?
I see where the mix-up is. So like I was saying, the $1,200 is only what you need to have if you want to do PR. Okay. So most artists, if you're just starting out and you're just in the process of making a mixtape or putting out a single, you're not at that stage yet where you're gonna need that kind of budget to do PR. So that's just if you were to do a PR campaign.
All right.
And let me just say the normal recommended budget to do any promotion with us is $300 US dollars. Okay. So, and we set it up like that to cater to the artists who have a tight budget and the artists who have a budget. So the minimum requirement for you to have to start promoting your music, is just $300. And that's on a monthly basis. Okay.
All right. Any more questions coming from the audience?
No, not yet. So I just say, let me just say this before we end it too. We plan on going live at least once a month, if not twice a month. So we're gonna be, doing this more often to answer more of you guys' questions and just to be transparent and to keep you up to date what we have going on and what you could expect. So we won't leave you in the woodworks, and we're definitely going to offer you some free resources too that you could, catch you up to speed in terms of your branding and your getting you ready to be promoted. So there's a bunch of free resources on the internet that most artists may not know about. So we were able to provide that to you, going forward. Boom. Let me check the chat real quick.
So check the chat to find out if anybody have any questions.
Okay. Answer that. All right. So we're almost at the hour mark. We didn't want to go over an hour, so we're gonna close it out right now. If you guys have any questions, you can always email that to us. You can email our company at. We have a new email that we're gonna use just for questions from any artist or DJ. So that email, Mr. Wildman, you could put it in the chat. Well, I'll put it in the chat. It's nyspmusic@gmail.com. I'll type it in. nyspmusic@gmail.com. And a website, yeah, that's it. And you can easily find our website at the bottom. It was scrolling earlier. And yep, that's it. And just follow us on social media. Stay up to date with what we have going on. And you could watch this live stream on LAX website. It's gonna edit it a little bit and then upload it in the next 48 hours. So just be on the lookout for that. And for all of you guys just tuning in, sorry you came late, but just watch the replay. Next time, show up early.
Yeah. And just to say, thanks for everyone for tuning in, and definitely I'll be on NC. What's the name of I'll be on the radio station tomorrow Sunday. I should have got the name of the radio station, so you guys can check me out there. I'll be talking about politics in Jamaica. Those are totally different things from what we're talking about here. But I'll be commenting on the state of affairs in terms of politics right now and the manifesto of both the PNP and the JLP. So I'll be putting that on my Facebook. So y'all can check it out, and definitely follow us on Instagram. Follow Danmar Clark at Instagram, Danmar Clark on Facebook as well, and of course on Twitter. You know what I mean? And if you have any questions, just DM me. You know, you go already, one family. And peace out. Mike, big up for coming out. I mean, big up to the whole New York family. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely, man. Have fun. Looking to do a few more of these in the future.
Definitely.
So, guys, it's been a good time. I'm gonna go get something to eat. So, y'all enjoy the rest of your weekend and stay safe and mask up.
Yes, sir.
Up.